Hello, I'm Day 9.
Hello, I'm Husky.
And it is time for Boxer versus MarineKingPrime. Yes!
Yep, Boxer just very recently losing a game, had to hoof it up onto the stage, and we are going to see what could potentially be a ridiculous TVT here, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, right now, both players have a 50-50 win rate. Boxer's 2-2 in his group, MarineKingPrime 1-1. So this will definitely be an important game for both of these players. MarineKingPrime would love to get that #1 spot, but he has to win every single game remaining in his group to do so. And it looks like our players may even be ready. Husky, tell us a little bit about the first map.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be on Shakuras Plateau. This is going to be a map where lots and lots of drops are always a threat, as well as getting the siege tanks on the left side, or basically on the top center and bottom center can be so frustrating. We will see that a lot, and I believe that they are ready here, and as soon as they give us the go-ahead, Sean, we are going to jump right into game because I do not want to wait any longer because watching these two players duke it out, I mean, one thing that's awesome about Marine King is he's kind of previously known as Boxer, so.
That is true. When MarineKingPrime started playing StarCraft 2, he chose the name Boxer and then got really good, so Artosa started calling him Foxer.
Yep.
And then he just chose the name MarineKingPrime, which is awesome anyways. And the funny thing to note, though, is that Terran vs. Terran has really shifted kind of hard back onto the Marine as that crux unit, in particular getting the really fast upgrades, oftentimes even neglecting tanks at the start of the game because of the map control that those Marines provide.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there was a recent change, and not so recent anymore, but the Hellion has changed. So since the last MLG, we haven't seen nearly as many Hellions as we are used to. As I remember, you know, last MLG, it was basically the unit of the MLGs. And there we go. It does look like, yep, they're going to go ahead and fix something just really quick in the booth, make sure they are all set up. And Boxer just got into his booth. He was literally playing a game like 10 minutes ago. So he's got to get all set up over there in the new booth.
Now, I think that's really interesting that you note that the Marine has become so essential, but the Blue Flame Hellion was the more important unit at the last MLG, and we have seen Boxer at this MLG post-patch still relying on the Blue Flame Hellion, doing the mass Blue Flame Hellion openings against TLO. But, of course, whoops, I may have started the game prematurely. No, Boxer did, in fact, say go.
Man,
fantastic.
last second there, man. Boxer's like leaving his booth while the game is starting, and we're like, standard build of him not moving any of his workers out or anything, but I hopefully they are both, you know, at their computers right now, so I think we'll be okay.
But yeah, I mean, the Blue Flame Hellion has been Boxer's crutch for a long time in this tournament. We see him transitioning more over to air. The mech has really been the way that he's been playing. It's really effective, really cool. And there it is. We are now starting MarineKingPrime versus SlayerSBoxer.
And Sean, you'll be happy to know that all of their SCVs are indeed moving, so they are in their booths. And we did not even have to ask people to cheer for this because this is a matchup that everyone has been super, extremely excited about. So do you want to introduce the players here, Sean? It's going to be a good one.
In the top left corner, it is the Emperor himself, a legend. And Marine King even saying fake Boxer versus real Boxer.
Oh, yeah. Even I am clapping. That is awesome.
It is SlayerSBoxer.
And down in the bottom right side, a huge fan of Reddit. Before the game, he was actually saying that the Reddit little cartoon character is absolutely awesome. So make some noise for Marine King. Now, this is going to be a TVT that I think many people remember. I can't imagine this game being one-sided at all, Sean. Both of these players are just kind of known for their resilience and their ability to just not die.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that time and time again with Boxer, where he'll be in a game for like an hour and a half. You just can't seem to make him leave the game.
Yeah, and it looks like Boxer, again, is going to be using that very fast refinery play, going to be opting to get the extremely fast factory, the kind of play that I do like quite a bit, but I'm more interested in seeing what Marine King has in store. He was the first player to do the early expand mass Marine style so long ago, and he's been going through variations of it over time, has never really given up that mobility Marine Marauder style, and now that players have really worked out a lot of kinks in that way of playing, I do think that MarineKingPrime will be in a superior position for this match.
Yeah, now Boxer is going to be having a lot of gas here. Is he going to be pulling off any of these SCVs? Currently does not look like it. Now, in this matchup, there's basically an unlimited amount of different openings you can do. Every unit is extremely utilizable. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to stick with it as there is creative ways. We've seen Boxer do builds where he'll get like 3 Ravens super early and things like that where he can just be very, very inventive. So it's kind of hard to get a super good read on what he's going to do.
And MarineKingPrime is planting down the orbital command at his natural expansion. Boxer is now getting the reactor on his barracks. May do an aggressive Marine Hellion play. He could give this factory over to the reactor. That would be a little bit unlike him, much more so favoring the Blue Flame upgrade as opposed to the high Hellion hours at the start. But with the build that MarineKingPrime is doing, that double Hellion play could be very potent.
Absolutely. The reason that it can be potent is because, well, since he's building that on the low ground, the Hellions can easily slip in there rather than trying to get them inside the main base or anything like that. And we do have a command center out of Boxer right now.
And interestingly, I think he actually is going for the double Hellion play. He's just delaying a little bit, getting this very fast factory. And this could be absolutely brutal for Marine King to deal with. I honestly think this is straight up using his read on Marine King and exploiting that for a potentially easy win, but this could backfire very badly if Boxer isn't extremely careful.
And Boxer is definitely known for being able to survive just about anything, but he's also better known for his very crazy antics as far as attacking and aggression. But Marine King, I mean, playing it pretty standard with those 2 racks that are just about to finish. The orbital just now being upgraded right now. And Boxer's, his expansion isn't really that far behind, you know, about 10, maybe 20 seconds behind of his opponent. So really, I mean, considering the map and the spawn locations, I think going this macro style is probably going to benefit both players here.
And it looks like Boxer, woo, got to be really careful. Oh, whoa, he does manage to get that Hellion out of there in time. This is pretty clever. Boxer's actually hiding Hellions in the back of his base to try to prevent Marine King from getting a good read on what he's doing. Marine King actually has absolutely no idea, and now is making a push with Marines. Oh no, he's going to fall directly into Boxer's trap.
And MarineKingPrime, while he does have amazing control, it's hard to control against Hellions with Marines. We'll see if he can pull it off. Has gotten off quite a few shots. Both players actually aggressively running at each other, which is going to favor the Marines. So I would say that the control for Marine King has been pretty good. Boxer still wants a little piece of this as they are going to be retreating. And no, he is going to go ahead and back out there. Neither player suffering major losses.
Marine King has gotten away without a bunker at this point in time. This will allow him to accelerate that Marine production, help him tech a little bit faster. Now Boxer does have the Viking up, is continuing to build Hellions 2 at a time. No doubt will be swapping off that factory with the tech lab so we can get the Blue Flame upgrade.
Now with the factory going down, do you think that Marine King, well, there he goes, looks like there's going to be a little bit of lag, but with this factory going down, do you think he's going to be sticking with kind of Marine Siege Tank, kind of the standard here?
I mean, Marine King might very well just go straight Marine Marauder. It's an effective technique. We saw MMA take down Boxer with that style in the last recent MLGs, but Boxers continue to put on pressure with these Hellions.
And he does escape out of there, roasting away 2 Marines, it looks like. And he has softened the rest of those. That is going to make them extremely vulnerable to siege tank fire or any sort of splash damage, including the Hellions, which really Boxer is continuing to produce them here, even adding on another factory right now. His tech lab is nearly done on that starport. And again, that's one interesting thing about TVT is that you can just mix in units and you can just make minor tweaks to your army to make it vastly superior to your opponents.
Boxer's doing a big push with 6 Hellions. Marine King manages to pick off 1 and defend his front. We do see that in terms of workers, Marine King is far ahead at 37 to 31, is really not missing a beat in terms of that SCV production, and that is essential. You'll see a lot of players early expand and be kind of half-assed about constantly building those SCVs, and an opponent like Boxer will also be spot on with that production, and that can be very devastating. And it looks like the Caduceus reactor was getting researched. The Medevac energy upgrade for a moment, that was canceled, and 1 Viking will almost get picked off.
And it is very important to keep as many of these units alive as you can, but Boxer wants to see exactly what's going on simply because, well, Marine King did a scan just a moment ago and was able to see every single production facility of his opponent, but Boxer is up to those 3 factories now, and he is churning out tanks and continuing with Hellion production. And Sean, we don't really see a lot of Marines out of him at all.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like straight up mass mech, and interestingly, not getting the Blue Flame upgrade, instead opting to devote that gas to siege tanks. That means he does want to make a push fairly soon. He has the map control established by all these Hellions, and he wants to try to hit his opponent before siege comes down, or he's feeling really nervous about an early attack on his own front.
And the blue flame upgrade just now finishing it right, or starting it right as that siege tech is finished. Does look like Marine King gonna be making a move on the map. Now this is the timing where drops can be pretty effective if you can do a lot of damage, but you absolutely cannot lose these medevacs as it is. I mean, it's kind of very risky. If you're dropping them inside your main base at this stage of the game, which he is gonna go for, then again, it can be effective, but you cannot lose these medevacs at all costs.
This is going to be a little bit close, but Boxer doesn't have really any big Viking anti-air yet. Marine King just going to drop right into the main. Now Boxer is pulling back, responding. We see the Hellions from Boxer now having to pull back. Marine King darting up, manages to maybe pick off this reactor. It is definitely going to burn down. Siege tank sieging up. Marine King loads up, and Boxer manages to defend.
6 Marines did lose their lives that day, and the add-on as well goes down. You can see Boxer was actually trying to make 2 Vikings at once, but since the add-on has been destroyed, he'll either have to stop production or wait until they are completed to get that up and running again, which with air superiority being so crucial in this matchup, especially when MarineKingPrime is going for something, or Marine King, excuse me, when he's going for this many medevacs, he absolutely needs to be able to snipe those, otherwise the Marines are just way too cost effective.
And Marine King is doing his classic style, mass barracks, mass expanding, no tanks. It is going to be mobility versus muscle, but Boxer is very comfortable with this situation. He just needs to play it out calmly and safely, and we definitely have a long game in store.
A little bit of a supply block here for Marine King, a full duration, as he has about 600 resources now. I'm sure he's going to be just fine dumping them into all of these barracks that he has, but just needs to make sure that he gets out as many units as he can, because when you're going this Marine Marauder style, you have to have just massive amounts of numbers. At that point, you're kind of playing like a Zerg player where you're vying for more units and good positioning. A minor engagement in the center. Looks like a couple Marines may go down. The Vikings are here to destroy the medevacs. This is actually going to be a nice victory here for Boxer. More units from Marine King running up here, but this may not be cost effective for him.
Uh-oh, he needs to pick off that Viking, but the siege tanks at the back do huge hits. And it does look like Marine King still has an adequate amount of Marine Marauder. No other drops going on. Boxer's third is done, still just relying on these 3 factories, and he's trying to get a stronghold over these center watchtowers. Not just because this is the tightest position on the map, the siege tanks will operate better, but also with those watchtowers, he's suddenly way more drop-proof. So it's correct for Boxer to be super aggressive at this point.
Yeah, and he just needs to make sure that they don't slip by along the tops and the bottoms. And Boxer, is he going to make a push on this third, or is he going to secure the center? Right now it looks like he's going to make a push, but he needs to be careful as Marine King is in position. He does have the +1 attack. Siege mode is, gets 1 shot off. Wasn't able to do the massive damage he wants, but here comes a massive drop from Marine King. May be able to take out every single one of the tanks here if Boxer is not careful.
Marine King unloading. The tank count is going to plunge down to nothing unless he can spread properly, but no, it looks like Marine King comes out on top by the skin of his teeth there, and now Boxer is on the defensive. And again, just as it was so important for Boxer to hold those watchtowers to be drop-proof, now that Marine King holds the watchtowers, he is free to just drop away. Boxer actually cancels that third, heads back home, and he is in an extremely tough spot.
Completely tough is absolutely true. Not only did he lose a lot of stuff, he's down in supply. The 4th base is on the way, so now he's going to be 2 bases behind a Marine King. And it's one of those situations, we've said it time and time again, where with Marine and Marauder, you just need good timing and good positioning so you don't take a lot of splash damage. And a good way to prevent that is, well, just drop on the entire army. So that is one thing about this matchup that is so vital, is being able to make split-second decisions like that, and that one decision alone, I think, is going to win him this first game.
And right now, the position that Marine King most wants to have his units is actually right here, weirdly enough, going for a counterattack, or if Boxer tries to push into the middle, cutting off those reinforcements, making the natural field as vulnerable as possible. Marine King just has to sit and start dropping aggressively to be able to break this, and oh my gosh, he might be going for a push right on the front door. Marine King trying to end this game right now. Incredibly bold play, dropping, stimming, 1 siege tank remains, it will fall, and Boxer desperately trying to siege up on the high ground. MarineKingPrime may not have won with this push, but it has done some game-winning damage.
You are absolutely correct there, Sean. These Marauders, last 2 Marauders, so many kills, even a couple more units running up here. It does look like Boxer is running out of units as Marine King gets into position to seal game 1 quite decisively.
Marine King, who suffered a brutal first loss to Drooby in this group, is showing why he is known to be a fierce force in Terran versus Terran, rallying Marine Marauders up, almost done with the +2/+2 upgrades. And oh my god, that is a lot of barracks.
Typical Marine King, man. Throwing down so many, wouldn't be surprised to see him add a bunch in the center, as well as, you know, just taking every expansion on the face of the map, as he has the complete right side on lockdown. And I mean, there's no other way to put it. That drop that he did basically twice, dropping on top of those siege tanks, has absolutely paid off, and that's what you have to do with these Marines and Marauders. We have even another command center getting placed down, so probably just going to be relying on Mule energy to go ahead and supplement his income. But when you're at about 100 supply lead, there's usually only one thing that happens, and that is you going 1-0 into game number 2.
I mean, Marine King keeping his money absurdly low, getting 3-3, having 14 barracks right now, just churning out units as fast as he possibly can. And now Boxer actually getting the +1 upgrade, starting to add on a bunch of barracks of his own. He just needs some way to combat this mobility. But Marine King really knows how to exploit a lead, taking so many expansions, almost up to 8 orbital commands.
Yeah, he's essentially making 15 units at a time here when his Marine production is in full swing, but is now no longer on any kind of swing because, well, he is maxed out. So the only thing he can spend his money on is going to be upgrades and all of that. And he's even got a sensor tower on the right side. And Boxer going to be scanning this and going, well, maybe he will just decide to give me this game. But I have a feeling that's not going to happen.
Oh, Marine King just going for it. Oh, he's going to supplement it with the drop. The great timing, tanking all that siege tank fire, darting up, having enormous losses right now, but still going to be able to break through the front lines. Marine King does the unthinkable, crushes the front line defense of Boxer, and with incredible finesse, annihilates Boxer in game number 1 with that style that he is so known for. The no tank, maximum mobility, mass expanding. That was like Zerg from Brood War on BGH.
Oh my god, you are so right, Sean. It's one of those situations where you don't ever want to give someone the advice of run your entire army up the choke into a siege line.
Yeah.
But Marine King realized he was so far ahead because he literally survived with like 5 Marauders remaining, which in a normal game that'd be like, oh no, that's horrible. But he was so far ahead. I mean, he had like 28,000 barracks.
I mean, all he needs to do is just keep throwing units, throwing units, throwing units. If wave 1 doesn't work, then wave 2 will definitely be there. And by the time wave 3 would have rolled around, Marine King would have had every single expansion on the map with a command center. It would have been building up, hopefully 31 barracks, which I think is a standard amount for Marine King's late game. Just an incredible, incredible play there.
Yeah, absolutely. Marine King showing us why he is one of the best Terran players, and they are gearing up here for game number 2. We are going to take a super quick break. I need a quick drink of water, but we are going to be back in about 30 seconds. I'm Husky.
I'm Day 9. See you right after this.